Amen. Please have a seat.
Good morning. I'd like to ask for the pastoral care team and for the shepherds and their wives, if they would, please, to surround the auditorium as I read a statement from the shepherds. I'll give you a moment. As we begin a campaign to raise funds to address some of the pressing needs of our church home, the shepherds believe that it is vital to state how enthusiastic and awed we are by what God is doing here among us. The work being done in this place is testimony to what can happen when people turn themselves over to God in the leading of His Spirit. There are so many people who have come to this congregation whose lives have been touched and changed by seeing Jesus in the hands and the feet of the people who call this place their church home. This place is testimony that when people are authentically confronted with Jesus, that they can't help but be changed. Our congregation is testimony by testimony, or story by story, of the redemptive power of God on this earth. So many people who attend here have come and found a place of healing and refuge from a world that replaces Jesus with all manner of idols. But here at 4th Avenue, Christ is Lord, and we serve Him. This is the place where our ministries and our missions emanate from, and it's the desire of the shepherds here at 4th Avenue to ensure that Christ is proclaimed from this place for decades to come, as it has been since the early 1800s. As any home ages, it has needs, and the needs of our church home are growing. The shepherds have been watching the accumulation of needs for years, and the discussion about the need for this campaign has been growing in intensity because of it, especially after the decision was made that this location would remain the home of the 4th Avenue congregation for the foreseeable future. With that decision made, we then wrestle with how to maintain all of the impact that we have through our ministries and missions, while also attempting to address the needs of this church home and secure the physical foundation of this work for decades to come, for our children, for our grandchildren, and for all those who come here seeking Christ. In the midst of this discussion, we know that you all have questions about what this entails and the necessity for it. We would start by dispelling any rumors that we are looking at hanging crystal chandeliers or building sports facilities, or coffee shops, or anything of that sort. Nothing like that is under consideration. We appointed a committee of skilled and knowledgeable members of this congregation who have spent an enormous amount of time looking at the specific needs and issues of this facility, with an eye towards updating a list of materials that have outlived their life expectancy and candidly that are falling apart on us. To make this a safe and efficient place, to bring us into compliance with building codes, and most importantly, to improve its functionality for our ministries and for those who worship and work here. During the past year, we've enlisted the services of external experts to assist us with this examination. You will be receiving information in the very near future detailing the outcomes of the very substantial work that has already been put into understanding the task before us. We ask you to be prepared that this list is lengthy and expensive. Anything you do to a facility these days is expensive. Homeowners know this to be the case. But the shepherds don't believe that continuing to defer the needed maintenance and upgrades is responsible stewardship. In fact, we now recognize that deferring those needs poses a threat to our ministries and missions. Many, many years ago, brothers and sisters who came before us determined to create a home, a church home, for decades to come, and we are thankful to God for them in the way that they chose to invest in this place, and we have been the beneficiaries of their choice. It's now our turn to secure that foundation for our generation and for future generations. Therefore, we are encouraging you to join us in a period of prayerful reflection in the weeks to come as we consider the need for sacrificial giving and securing the future of our church home here at 4th Avenue. As your shepherds, we ask you to consider your part in this, whatever level that might represent, and to focus upon it as an act of worship. We encourage you to not allow Satan to distract you. Satan honestly couldn't care less about your money unless he can find a way to use it to distract you from authentic worship. Whatever you determine to do, we encourage you to make it an authentic act of worship to our Lord. We believe God is going to create countless more stories here. If we allow ourselves to be his instruments, God has a full agenda for this congregation for a long time to come. We are one of the oldest churches of Christ in the United States, and great things are happening here, but we think that God is just getting started with us. Thank you for your prayerful consideration. Please turn your attention now to this video.